Hello, everyone. It is Simon Pink. How are you doing today? Good to hear that you're okay. I've got an extra special guest. Extra, VIP, special, wonderful, brilliant, talented guitarist, singer, vocalist. That's the same thing, isn't it? Songwriter. He is on Zoom with me right now. It is Ash Wilson. Give it up for Ash. Give it up for Ash. Everyone stand up, clap. Come on.
You can't introduce me like that. I'll never live up to
it. Ash, you got to now. It's tough. You have to live up to it.
I'm going to go now and get practicing.
Well, look, Ash, let's talk about. I know you're touring, and I want to find out about previous gigs that you've done. Have you had any sort of funny things that have gone wrong during playing, gigging, setting up, just on tour and stuff like that?
Recently, I had a tour's worth of issues in one gig, where I had a pedal board meltdown. Yeah, the whole thing completely vibed out. So, and it wasn't in a very big gig. It wasn't and actually a lot of the audience members were on very much pretty like elbows on the stage. It was one of those small shows, and I'd had something got spilled or something. There was a water beer problem, I think, which is something, to be honest.
You've been drinking, hadn't you? I know.
No, gosh, no, not me, blimey. But yeah, it was just, unfortunately, I was still on the side of the stage where you can stand and watch the band from stage right. You know, it was. And it's a cool venue, but I won't name it. But it is one of those where it's a bit smaller.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'm playing away and couldn't really hear myself anyway. I was in like a bass trap. So all I could hear is bass. And I'm trying to, and I'd not got my in-ear monitors with me because it was a small gig. I didn't think I'd need them. Mm-hmm. So I've just got earplugs. I'm like, I can't hear a thing. And then basically my sound just kept degrading till six tunes in. I'm like, I can hear my amps going like, it's making all these weird noises.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I just didn't use my pedal board, and I just used the amp. I mean, my amp's a single channel amp. So I was kind of using, none of my guitars have got treble bleeds on. So because I use a pedal that does it. So when I turn the guitar down, it doesn't, with it on, it's the greatest pedal ever made, I think, for a drive pedal. It's called a Mad Professor Royal Blue. It's incredible. And
yeah, I've come across them, yeah.
Especially when you're playing live, if you set everything just shy of noon, it pretty much, all it does is it lifts a bit of bottom end, which is no bad thing, really. Yeah. You know, when you're playing in a band with a bassist, you don't need tons of bottom in your guitar sound. So I have everything set there. And then with my guitar on 10, on full tilt, I've pretty much got the same tone the amp's producing, which is just breaking up. But if you turn your guitar down, it adds treble. So it cleans up, but you don't lose any presence. And that means I don't need a clean tone. I can just turn my guitar down, which is amazing. Now, amp does react really well to my guitar being turned down, but it does act like you'd expect a Fender kind of a 606 tube amp to do, which is you just lose a bit of presence when you turn your guitar down. And I'm all about the treble. So although we are actually, funnily enough, I was chatting to Cliff the other day, and we are on with designing a circuit in an amp that does it. So it sees your guitar pickups and reacts a little bit like a fuzz pedal would. But more on that next year when we've started actually developing it.
Let us know. Come on, tell me what happened. Yeah. So your pedal board was going all.
So all that ended up happening was I did this with Sari. I do a lot of ambient things. So I have a volume pedal and all these sexy reverbs and delays and things. And I yeah, I mean, so I don't play lap steel, but I kind of try and evoke that kind of sound on a couple of the numbers, which of course is a bit more difficult when you've got an amp sound that you need ethereal cave-like reverbs on the verse because you're not really playing anything, you're just doing swells. But then you've got like ultimate, classic rock 70s guitar tones for the chorus.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of knob twiddling going on for the rest of the gig. I couldn't hear myself anyway because all I could hear was bass. So it was one of those gigs of like, there was zero performance. I spent the entire night with the look of sheer determination, I think.
It's the only way to do it, isn't it? I mean, most of us are guitarists who listen to this anyway. So we've all been there. We all know what it's like when something doesn't quite go right. And yeah,
it is, but it just goes to show you it's important that you do, that you do practice a lot clean, and you do practice a lot with, it's very, I use as big a pedal board as anyone, and I mean, on there, there's, on that one, there's that show, there's the volume pedal, there's a vibe, like a vibe pedal, like a univibe type thing, fuzz, octave fuzz, there's that royal blue, which is on all the time. Then there's a boost to go on top of that if I've got lead tones. Then there's a reverb pedal, a delay pedal, then a reverb pedal. Obviously a tuner, which is like the most important one. So like there's plenty on there, but it was, being able to just do the gig with an amp, no pedals, when things go wrong, is also incredibly useful. So that was a nice little reaffirmation of like, practice clean, so that if you end up in this position again, because obviously you have your backup heads, when you go gigging, but actually backup pedals is something you don't generally have. So I have since bought another Royal Blue as a backup, just in case, with a battery in it, so that I can keep just for those clean tones. I just love the sound of, or a fuzz pedal, of having an amp just breaking up, and then if I want more, I can add more on top of that pedal, and if I want less, I can just turn the guitar down, and it has all this lovely top end. Those Royal Blues, I watched a Matt Schofield video years ago of him waxing lyrical about them, and I tried one, and I really haven't looked back.
That's how he does it, is it? A Royal Blue. Well, there we go. That's
honestly, Royal Blue and a bit of slapback delay, and that gets you in that kind of Schofield zone, definitely.
Fantastic stuff. Look, let's go to a record, and we'll chat more after this.